There is something almost no one is telling you about raw onions. And if you have been eating them every single day thinking you are doing something powerful for your health, you are right. You are absolutely right. But there is one quiet mistake built into the way most people eat them. A mistake so simple it almost sounds like it cannot matter. And yet the science is clear. This one thing is cutting the benefit you actually get from raw onions by more than half. Not 10%, not 20. More than half of everything you think you are absorbing is passing straight through you and exiting your body without ever reaching your bloodstream. Here at Wellness Daily, we believe in giving you the kind of honest, practical information that actually changes how you feel. No complicated medical jargon, no expensive supplements, just the truth about how your body works and what it genuinely needs. And today that truth is simple. If you eat raw onions without doing this one thing, you are leaving most of the benefit on the table every single morning. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that thing is, why it matters more than almost anything else you do with your food, and 3 specific ways to start doing it today. Stay with me until the third method. That is the one most people never think of, and it is the one that changes everything about how this actually works inside your body. Let me start with something I want you to really understand because it explains everything that follows. Inside every raw onion, there are 2 families of healing compounds that researchers have been studying for decades. The first is quercetin. It is a flavonoid, a natural plant antioxidant found in dense concentrations in the outer layers of the onion. The second is a family of organic sulfur molecules, the same ones responsible for that sharp smell, that almost eye-watering bite when you cut through a fresh onion. These are not just flavor chemicals. They are biologically active compounds with a very specific job to do inside your body. And that job begins in your blood vessels. But before I explain what these compounds do inside you, I need to tell you something about what is already happening inside your body right now, regardless of what you eat. Because this is the part that makes everything else matter more than you realize. Your body produces a molecule called nitric oxide. It is manufactured directly inside the thin layer of cells lining your blood vessel walls, and it is arguably the single most important molecule in your entire vascular system. It is not a supplement you can buy. It is not something you inject. It is something your body makes on its own, or is supposed to. And the rate at which it makes it declines steadily as you get older. Research suggests that nitric oxide activity can drop by as much as 50% between your 30s and your 50s. Half the foundation of your vascular health, quietly eroding over time. You feel it in real, everyday ways. Energy that was not this low 10 years ago. Blood pressure slowly drifting upward. Sleep that does not feel as restorative as it once did. A physical steadiness that seems harder to hold on to than it used to be. This is not a mystery condition. This is nitric oxide decline, and it is reversible when you give your body the right raw materials. Picture the inside of your blood vessels like the inner wall of a garden hose. When that hose is flexible, clear, and wide open, water flows through it easily. No strain, no pressure, no effort. But when the walls stiffen, when the passage narrows, everything changes. Flow slows, pressure builds. The pump at the other end works harder and harder just to move the same amount of fluid through. Your blood vessels work exactly this way. And the molecule responsible for keeping them relaxed, open, and clear is called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is produced inside the cells lining your blood vessel walls. Research has confirmed that quercetin from onions directly stimulates the enzyme responsible for this production, a protein called endothelial nitric oxide synthase, or eNOS. When quercetin reaches those vessel walls, it activates eNOS the way a key turns a lock, and that enzyme begins producing nitric oxide. Clinical studies published in peer-reviewed journals have shown that quercetin-rich onion extract significantly lowers ambulatory blood pressure in people with hypertension, meaning real reductions measured over a full 24-hour period, not just a single snapshot reading in a doctor's office. The sulfur compounds from the onion enter this same system from a completely different pathway, amplifying the output through a second mechanism simultaneously. 2 pathways, 1 result. More nitric oxide flowing through your vessels. And more nitric oxide means your blood moves more freely, your blood pressure is better supported, your energy is more consistent, and your circulation reaches every corner of your body the way it is supposed to. This is not a theory, this is published biochemistry. This is what the onion is actually doing when it enters your system correctly. The word I just said is the one that matters, correctly, because here is the part that almost every conversation about raw onions completely skips over, and it is the most important thing you will hear today. Quercetin is lipophilic. That is the scientific term. In everyday language, it means this compound is fat-soluble. It is designed by nature to dissolve in fat, not in water. And that one fact changes everything about how you should be eating it. Think about what happens when you pour oil into a glass of water. They do not mix. The oil floats straight to the surface no matter how much you stir it. That is not a failure of chemistry. That is chemistry doing exactly what it does. And your digestive system operates by the same principle. Quercetin, the most important healing compound in that raw onion, requires fat to be transported across the wall of your intestine and into your bloodstream. Without fat present in the same meal, it cannot make that journey. It travels through your gut, reaches the end of your digestive tract, and exits your body without ever becoming bioavailable. Your blood vessels never feel its effect. Your enos never gets activated. Your nitric oxide levels stay exactly where they were, low. Research has confirmed this in multiple controlled studies. When quercetin is consumed alongside fat, its absorption improves dramatically. One study found that subjects who consumed quercetin with a fat-containing meal showed a 45% increase in peak plasma concentration compared to those who consumed the same amount without fat. A separate study comparing pigs fed a high-fat diet against pigs on a low-fat diet showed a 57% improvement in quercetin bioaccessibility in the higher fat group. And additional research on emulsion-based delivery found that combining quercetin with lipids and fat-based carriers produced absorption improvements that researchers described as remarkable across multiple independent trials. 45%, 57%. These are not marginal gains. These are the difference between a habit that is actually working and a habit that only feels like it should be working. Let me put a picture around this that you will not forget. Imagine two people. Both eat raw onions every morning. Both read that raw onions are one of the best foods on earth for circulation and blood pressure. Both are consistent, both are disciplined, both believe they are doing something meaningful for their health. The first person chops their onion, eats it plain, and continues with their day feeling like they are ahead of the curve. The second person learned one thing. They add a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. 3 months later, same two people, same food, same commitment, but one of them is waking up with noticeably more energy. Their blood pressure numbers at the clinic are moving in the right direction. They feel clearer, stronger, more like themselves. The other one cannot figure out why nothing seems to be changing. The only difference between them was 1 tablespoon of olive oil. That is what we are talking about today. And I want to be direct with you about something. This is not about being extreme. This is not about overhauling your entire diet or spending money on supplements or following a protocol designed by someone who has never lived your life. This is about one small, consistent decision made daily with food you already buy. That is all. The biology does the rest. Your body is not broken. It is just waiting for the right combination to work with. And here is where it gets even more interesting. Because extra virgin olive oil is not just a fat, it is not just a delivery vehicle for the quercetin in your onion. It is an active contributor on its own. Research has shown that the polyphenols found in extra virgin olive oil, particularly a compound called hydroxytyrosol, directly stimulate the upregulation of enos, the same nitric oxide producing enzyme that quercetin activates. Studies on human aortic endothelial cells have confirmed that olive oil phenolics modulate nitric oxide balance by both reducing the rate at which nitric oxide is broken down and enhancing its production through the ACT1/ENOS pathway. This means when you combine raw onions with extra virgin olive oil, you are not just improving the delivery of one compound, you are triggering nitric oxide production from 2 completely independent directions at the same time. The quercetin activates ENOS from one angle. The sulfur compounds amplify that production from a second angle. The olive oil polyphenols stimulate the same enzyme from a third angle. And the fat in the olive oil carries all of it across your intestinal wall so that all 3 mechanisms actually reach your bloodstream instead of passing through you unused. That is a tablespoon of olive oil drizzled over an onion you already have in your kitchen. Now let me give you 3 specific ways to make this work starting tonight. The first is the most direct. Slice half a raw red or white onion into thin rings, the way you would layer onto a sandwich or a salad. Drizzle 1 full tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil directly over the slices. Add a small pinch of sea salt. Then let it sit for 5 minutes before you eat it. That 5-minute rest is not just for flavor. It gives the oil time to fully coat the surface of the onion and begin interacting with the active compounds before digestion starts. Eat this alongside any meal you already eat regularly. Anchor it to breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whichever you are most consistent with. Stack it onto an existing habit and it becomes automatic within a week. The second method works well if raw onion is sharp on your stomach or your palate. Take the same half an onion and mince it very finely, almost to a soft paste. Combine it with 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, a generous squeeze of fresh lemon juice, and a pinch of sea salt. The lemon is not just flavor. Vitamin C has been shown to independently support the same nitric oxide producing system in your blood vessels, acting as a synergistic companion to the quercetin and the olive oil compounds. Spoon this mixture generously over eggs in the morning, over grilled fish or chicken at dinner, or spread it onto whole grain bread. It keeps in the refrigerator for 2 days. Prepare it once and it is waiting for you every time you open the fridge. No willpower required, no excuses. The third method is the simplest and the one most people never think of. Build it into your largest meal of the day as a condiment rather than a side. Chop your raw onion small, toss it directly into whatever you are already eating, and dress the whole dish with your tablespoon of olive oil. When fat is present throughout the meal, the quercetin and sulfur molecules have even more opportunity to bind with it during digestion, giving your body extended exposure to the compounds as they move through your intestinal tract. You are not adding a step. You are changing one ingredient in a step you were already taking. Here is what I want you to carry with you from this video. Your body's ability to produce nitric oxide is not fixed. It is not something that simply fades with age and stays gone. It responds directly to what you give it. And when you start giving it the right combinations, foods that work together the way nature intended, you feel the difference. Better circulation, more energy in the morning, a steadiness in your blood pressure that was not there before, a level of physical clarity that perhaps you had quietly started to accept was simply behind you. It is not behind you. It is waiting on the other side of one very small daily habit, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil over your raw onions, every single day. That is the message from Wellness Daily today. Small habit, real biochemistry, meaningful results if you stay consistent. The tools to protect your health have been sitting in your kitchen the entire time. If this gave you something real today, please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up. It helps more people find this information, and that is genuinely why we do this work. Subscribe to Wellness Daily so you never miss a new video, and drop a comment right now. Tell us where you are watching from, and whether you are going to try this combination today. We read every single comment, every single one. And if you already eat raw onions as part of your daily routine, we especially want to hear from you. Tell us how you eat them, what country you are in, whether onions are a staple where you live. That kind of community is what makes Wellness Daily different from every other health channel, and hearing from people all around the world who are making real choices for their health is genuinely what keeps this channel going. Your health is worth protecting, and the simplest decisions you make in your own kitchen, made consistently, are often the most powerful ones. Not the most complicated, not the most expensive, the most consistent. That is what the research keeps pointing back to. Not perfection, consistency. 1 tablespoon every day. That is the habit. Watch the next video on screen right now. The people who watch it tell us it changed how they thought about their daily routine entirely. Do not close this without watching it.